so that,
Done.
okay, sounds good. Done. है?
Fantastic. So I'm not giving any background, Murtaza. I'm just going with a straight question. बच्चा वो बाद में देखेंगे ऊपर नीचे का.
ओके, ठीक
Done?
है, चलेगा भवन, या आई
हाँ,
गो ऑन म्यूट।
done. Okay. Bye, Vishal.
Hey, Pavan. Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
I'm good, Vishal. Thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure.
Vishal, just wanted to bounce off a couple of things. I read your blog about the chemist and a doctor sales and, sales guys, and the analogy sounds pretty interesting. But I thought it would be good to have a little more, clarifications or some conversation with you around it. So would you want to take a minute to quickly tell us, the differences between a chemist and a doctor approach when a sales guy takes, and how would you want to define it? Because blog talks about it in very, very pointed stuff.
Yeah.
Can you be a little more elaborate about it, please?
Yeah. See, the blogs, obviously, you can't write pretty long stuff. Yeah. Okay. So, see, this is my observation of the sales community, right?
Hmm.
Especially, I'm talking about, so I'm not talking about that B2C, right? We'll remain
Hmm.
focused on B2B. And here also, I would like to remain focused on B2B complex sales kind of scenario.
Correct.
Or B2B high stakes sales kind of scenario, which is a
Hmm.
longer sales cycle, multiple people get involved.
Hmm.
So they always think over a period of time, I realized this is where that analogy struck me, right? Okay, the way sales guys respond or behave, right, or engage their customers. There is a set of sales guys who behave very transactionally, or I would
Hmm.
call them as at times courier sales guys, briefcase sales guys, catalog sales guys, brochure sales guys, and then there is a very small community guys who behave like consultative sellers.
Hmm.
They are perceived as consultants in their customers' mind. So
Okay.
I'll tell you what's happening, right? The reason I'm saying chemist or a doctor.
Hmm.
See, either our customers perceive sales guys either as chemists or at times preferred chemists or doctors.
Okay.
Now I'll give you the reason, right? When it is a chemist, what happens, right? I mean, we are very clear about okay, this is the pain or whatever is my need. I also have a prescription, and then I
Hmm.
approach a chemist. And
Hmm.
what am I expecting chemist to do? I'm expecting chemist to give me the medicine.
Hmm.
So it is a predominantly a order fulfillment role I'm expecting chemist to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know कि अच्छा ये chemist के पास दवाई नहीं मिलेगा तो मैं बगल वाले के पास पूछ लूंगा. So in my mind, there is not much difference between chemist A to chemist B to chemist C.
Hmm.
And when there is not much difference between chemists, how
Hmm.
as customers we decide? We decide कि ठीक है यार ये मेरे घर के नजदीक रहता है. Okay, if need be, he will replace the medicines. Or
Right.
who will give me more discount? So
Hmm.
many of us, right, after getting the medicines, we have asked the chemist, I hope आपने वो discount लगाया है ना? Or what kind of discount are you giving? So because I reached out to chemist when my need was clear and I was clear about my solution also. And then I gave him the prescription. So that, and this is what happens with many of the, I would say a lot of sales guys. Their customers reach out to them when the customer is clear about the need, clear about the solution also, and then the customers reach out to the sellers कि इसके लिए quote कर दे. Or this is what I want. So in customers' mind, they perceive sales guys more like a order fulfillment guys.
Okay.
So the customer is reaching out to those sales guys predominantly at RFQ stage or
Right.
at times RFP stage, right? But predominantly at a quote stage. So this I would call it as a chemist perception. And
Okay.
now the coming to the doctor perception. Now, when we go to the doctor, right, what happens? We go with our symptoms. कि हमें पेट में दर्द है कि ये नहीं हो रहा है हमें चक्कर आ रहा है और let's say it could be any disease and then what we expect doctors to diagnose us
Right.
and doctors to identify the cause and we expect doctor to address the cause and this is
Right.
what good doctor does also, right? A good doctor always diagnoses, identifies the cause and tries to address the cause, right? Now what is the perception in the patient's mind about doctor, right? There is a perception of respect also.
Hmm.
Okay, now that respect not necessarily comes for the chemist. The respect is very high, and we don't ask for discount, right? Okay, doctors have discount दे दो. I'm not saying okay. I mean, there might be always few people who might be asking also, but majority of us do not ask or do not even think also. Yeah, because we respect that knowledge, right? And many of us are very happy to go with very expensive doctors also because we know,
Right.
okay, he will prescribe the right medicine, he will diagnose well, and it will eventually become win-win. Okay, win for the patient, and then let the doctor charge the right premium price. Similar thing happens with I mean that scarce sales community also. They are perceived as doctors in their customer's mind because the customer knows that this guy would be able to diagnose his problem, or the sales guy would be able to define the problem for the customer, or would be able to give him the solution which the customer is not able to come out.
Right.
Or this sales guy would know the industry best practices. He would have the knowledge, expertise, insights, right? He'll be this sales guy will be able to ask customer some insightful probing or very specific information, which most of the sales guys do not have. And
Mm.
this is where the in customer's mind, that perception of the salesperson changes, and now the customer starts perceiving these sales guys more like a consultant and not like a salesperson. So if you look at even the sales cycle, entry of the sales guys in the
Mm.
customer's buying process or
Mm.
the overall sales cycle, a typical chemist sales guys, they enter pretty late in the game.
Mm.
They enter when the customer is clear about the need, clear about the solution. Whereas doctor sales guys, they enter early in the sales guy. At times when the customer is unsure about the actual problem, there is some trigger in the customer's world, and customer is not sure what exactly is the problem. And
Mm.
this is where the customers may feel, let me speak with, let's say, Pavan. If Pavan is that sales guy, okay, Pavan will be able to help me define the problem, or Pavan will definitely have some industry best practices.
Right.
So this is what we said, and obviously, if you see the career also of both these sales guys, chemist sales guys or doctor sales guys, I'm not saying that chemist sales guys don't do well, but then there's a lot of hard work. See, they're typical for them to become very successful, then they have to be extremely hardworking. Then it is typically spray and pray model, right? You keep talking to multiple people, it's a quantitative. Whereas these guys remain focused, right? They add value in each and every conversation, each and every customer transaction, each and every customer word also. And this is where there is much higher respect from the customer. And obviously, whatever deals the doctor sales guys pick up, they pick up at the right price.
Right.
Yeah. So there is a right value for the customer and the right margin for the selling organization also. Yeah.
Right.
So I'll just take a pause here, Pawan. I mean,
No,
feel
Vishal,
free to
that's a
ask.
great insight. No, that's a great insight, and thank you for that. Uh, Murtuza,
Yeah.
this going okay?
No, it is good actually. This one was good.
This good, right?
Yeah, a separate section can be
Mm.
created from this.
Perfect.
So we'll
So let's
continue,
jump to,
Pavan, with
yeah, we'll
this.
continue with the same
Done,
thought.
done.
हाँ बट मैं ओके थोड़ा
Hmm.
वापस इम्प्रूवमेंट एरियाज देखते हैं. Is it becoming too formal? Should we bring थोड़ा
नहीं
कि
विशाल,
it's
आप
okay?
वो
नहीं,
इंग्लिश
it's
बोल रहे हो
okay.
तो वैसा ही थोड़ा इनफॉर्मल ही लग रहा है, मतलब इट्स नॉट बैड.
अच्छा मेरा इंग्लिश ही इनफॉर्मल लगता है.
नहीं नहीं, इंग्लिश नहीं, हिंदी प्लस इंग्लिश बोल रहे हो ना, इंग्लिश बोल रहे हो
ओके
आप.
ओके अच्छा
वो
इंग्लिश आई थॉट
हाँ.
कि विशाल
नहीं
आदमी
नहीं,
इंग्लिश बोल रहा था इनफॉर्मल.
इंग्लिश नहीं, इंग्लिश आप बोलता कि मैं ऐसे ही बोलता हूँ नेचुरली, तो
हाँ
सही लग रहा है वो.
ठीक है ठीक.
So I think we're doing okay right now. Improvement, I think, Vishal, probably you can bring in a couple of examples which might help, which you typically bring, right?
हाँ मैं लेकिन मैं सोचा पॉइंट मुझे लगा फिर और बड़ा ना हो जाए. मैं ट्राई करते हैं. हाँ फेयर
हाँ,
पॉइंट.
let's give it a
तो
shot,
हाँ, तो जैसे
right?
थोड़ा थोड़ा वो करना है, पवन, वो
Hmm?
पोस्टर विशाल का थोड़ा वो लग रहा है
हाँ.
डॉन वाला. थोड़ा सीधा बैठ, ऐसे पीछे
ओके.
हाथ रख के. नहीं मतलब आई थॉट
Hmm.
कि वो थोड़ा एरोगेंट ना लगे वीडियो में, मतलब ऑफ कोर्स जो विशाल को जानते हो, फिर जो नहीं जानते उनके लिए
तो
ऐसे बैठते हैं तो आई डोंट नो, मतलब
बट मैं
just,
ऐसे क्लाइंट के यहाँ पे भी बैठता हूँ. आई एम बीइंग
हाँ क्या,
ऑनेस्ट.
Vishal,
वो सलमान खान जैसा बैठे हो पुलिस स्टेशन.
one thing I would want to say when you are talking, it would be nice if you don't look up and talk because typically that is perceived otherwise in the body language scenario.
यार मेरा मैंने ये ऑब्जर्व किया मेरे बारे में क्योंकि आई एम ऑल्सो थिंकिंग पवन.
I know, and that is the
हम्म.
sign that gives you away.
हाँ,
That is
okay.
exactly the interpretation in the body language scenario. When you're thinking or you're forming something in your head, you start looking up. That's the
अच्छा, तो
actual
पता नहीं,
interpretation of it.
नहीं नहीं, then it's a wrong interpretation.
No, it is not. It is
because मैं
actually a documented interpretation, what I'm telling
because
you.
मैं एक्चुअली सोच भी रहा हूँ बात करते करते, तो ऐसा नहीं कि वी आर नॉट मेकिंग अप थिंग्स.
No, I'm saying people do it at two times, either when they're
हाँ.
thinking or they're
हम्म.
trying to extrapolate things in your mind and then talk parallelly.
ठीक है, तो एक बार ये
That's when
कोशिश
they
करते हैं.
start looking up.
हाँ, मैं, हाँ, ऐसे बात
हाँ,
करते हैं.
हाँ.
हाँ.
So
तो
fair enough.
आपको
We'll get on to
सर
the second
बीच में
question.
पॉज लेना हो वो ले सकते हो, वो मैं बीच में कट कर दूं अगर आपको सोचना हो
हाँ,
तो, मतलब डेलिबरेट पॉज लेना हो
नहीं
तो।
नहीं नहीं, सोचना नहीं है, वो कंटिन्यूस चलता है, बट ठीक है,
हाँ
फेयर पॉइंट.
ठीक है ठीक है।
हाँ.
okay. Vishal, continuing on the chemist and the doctor sales approach, how do you think customers' perception or expectation changes when they're interacting with a chemist, sales guy and a doctor pro sales guy? And what is that they are thinking in their mind? Would you want to kind of throw a little bit of light on that?
Yeah, pretty interesting question, Pavan. Because I always feel that the great sales guys always have this customer pulse.
Hmm,
And the great sales guys always think कि मेरा client क्या सोच रहा है, मेरा client क्या
hmm,
feel कर रहा है, right?
hmm,
So now look at the real life scenario.
hmm,
Uh, when you reach out to, for example, a chemist sales guys, right?
hmm,
Chemist sales guys typically customer के दिमाग में, yeah,
hmm,
this sales guy, he's a good guy, he's a
hmm,
hardworking sales guy. Probably
hmm,
he's working 12 hours a day,
hmm,
10 hours
hmm,
a day.
hmm,
But I may like him, but
hmm.
not necessarily I may respect him
Okay.
because he does not bring anything beyond his product knowledge.
Hmm,
So the guy, obviously, the chemist sales guy would know a lot about his product services.
hmm.
But does he know enough about how these product services are going to help my business?
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm,
Whereas I know the doctor sales guys.
hmm,
Doctor sales guys, this is given. They by default know well about their product services,
hmm,
but they are also able to think and feel and suggest
hmm.
how these product services are going to help my business.
Okay.
Okay, or how it is going to, the doctor sales guys can suggest how this is going to help my business or me personally also as a customer. Now, your question, right? How this customers would perceive,
Hmm,
right?
hmm.
That was a question, right, Pawan?
Correct. Correct.
So again, I'm saying the customers may like chemist sales guys because they
Hmm,
are reachable, approachable,
hmm,
accessible. कि
hmm,
अगर कुछ जरूरत पड़ा तो they will do all these things. फटाफट कोड भेज देंगे. So I
hmm.
may like him.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm not respecting him because I know he does not bring any additional knowledge or expertise.
Fair point.
अगर मैंने कल को उसको पूछ दिया कि tell me
Hmm,
this is what I'm getting stuck, कि
hmm,
मेरा migration में मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ,
hmm.
would you know the industry best practice? Over a period of time, customer would know that chemist sales guys would not have the knowledge,
Correct.
or he'll keep trying to pull from his product point of view or his service or
Okay.
solution point of view.
Hmm,
Whereas doctor sales guys,
hmm,
right? Doctor sales guys, over a period of time, customer starts respecting him.
hmm,
So this is where I would say there's a difference. I always say between a word relationship and credibility.
hmm,
With a chemist sales guys, I as a customer might have a relationship,
hmm.
but I may not have a respect for him. Whereas a
Right.
doctor sales guys, at times I may not have a relationship, but I would still, the doctor sales guy would still have a high credibility in my customer's mind. And over a period of time, the
Hmm.
credibility also will convert into a relationship because then it becomes a really killer combination. So now I respect that sales person who's a doctor sales guy. There is a very high credibility in my mind, and over a period of time, I have developed relationship also. And I'm more than happy to keep connecting him to multiple other customer contacts in my organization. So
Right.
here in case of chemist sales guy, he's trying, whereas in case of doctor sales guy, I want to buy from him. So chemist sales guy keeps asking me, sir, मुझे आप इससे मिला दो ना, इससे मिला दो, and I'll say, yeah, we'll do it. Don't worry. Time. Whereas doctor sales guy, I proactively, and not I, there might be multiple touch points in the customer organization. So multiple touch points, they are trying to connect him to a lot of other colleagues. And over a period of time, the doctor sales guy would have access to the senior touch points in the customer's organization.
Right.
Whereas a chemist sales guy remains, his relationship over a period of time would be with the junior to mid-level touch points.
Right.
Yeah. Does that answer your
That's
question, Pawan?
that's an interesting thing. It's also talks about for someone to self-evaluate what approach are they taking, and when a customer behaves in a certain way, are they perceiving you as a chemist or a doctor, right? I think
Yes,
it's a great assessment story of whether they're taking you to the other people or not. Because a
absolutely.
lot of time customers either say that no, let's see if you can meet someone else, or they say, why don't you try and meet this guy, right? That itself gives you the perception of yourself in the customer mind as a sales professional,
Absolutely, absolutely.
right? So it's a
And
great assessment right there. Yeah,
yes,
fantastic.
and probably the sales community and all of us, okay, to
Mm,
be honest, we are
mm,
not, I mean, while you and me are
mm,
discussing, we are also
mm.
sales guys, right? We have
Correct.
lived, I mean, day in and day out, we keep talking to customers. We have got a lot of soft corners for the entire enterprise sales community. But at times, I would say the sales community also needs to assess themselves. If day in
Yes,
and day out, if they keep getting requests where they feel they've got a great relationship, but that relationship they are not able to convert into a right margin, then there is a problem.
correct,
मीन्स ऐसा है कि अगर आपकी रिलेशनशिप के बावजूद आपका हर ऑर्डर L1 पे ही आप उठा रहे हो,
correct.
and when I say 80% orders are still L1, then there is some concern.
You're right. And also the assessment could be customer आपके पास सिर्फ कोड के लिए आ रहा है या solution के लिए भी आ रहा है. Is customer
Absolutely.
bouncing off the ideas with you?
Yes.
करेक्ट.
So
अगर
if
कस्टमर
you're
आपके साथ साउंडिंग बोर्ड जैसे बिहेव कर रहा है तो आप डॉक्टर के ही कस्टमर इज परसीविंग एज डॉक्टर. पर अगर
yes,
कस्टमर सिर्फ फिक्स्ड रिक्वेस्ट लेके आ रहा है कि नहीं इसका कोड कर दो फिर बात करते हैं, सो देन द कस्टमर इज परसीविंग यू एज अ केमिस्ट लार्जली. आई
exactly.
थिंक दैट आल्सो इज अ ग्रेट, बोथ द थिंग्स आर ग्रेट इंडिकेटर्स ऑफ
Yeah. Because if you're
कस्टमर आपको कैसे
continuously
परसीव
getting,
कर रहा है.
request for code,
हम्म.
you're right, Pawan. I'm sorry.
हम्म.
I think there was slight overlap.
हम्म.
If you're continuously getting request for code only,
हम्म.
okay, then there is a concern.
करेक्ट.
And over a period of time, you can do further assessment. You will realize
हम्म.
that chemist sales guys, 90% of the time, they are talking to the junior touch points.
करेक्ट. करेक्ट.
Whereas doctor sales guys, over a period of time, their level of discussion, level of relationship, level of conversation moves to that mid to senior level.
ट्रू. It's natural to happen, and absolutely it's a great indicator, Vishal. Thanks so much for that.
Hey, thank you so much, Pawan.
Hmm.
Murtuza,
Yeah,
So there's also good,
this
Murtaza.
is also good. Yes, yes.
तू
So
डायरेक्टर
this,
है मुर्तुजा, हम तो
हाँ
सिर्फ
हाँ
एक्टर है.
विशाल, अरे नहीं नहीं मालूम है विशाल, नहीं आई एक्चुअली फॉरगॉट द मेन क्वेश्चन. ये क्वेश्चन क्या था पवन ये वाले के लिए कि हाउ द कस्टमर
Perceive,
परसीव, राइट? हाँ,
perceives,
ओके
yeah.
ओके, गॉट इट
What
गॉट
is
इट.
the perception of
ठीक है.
customer? And the add-on could be that is there a way you can assess yourself, how is customer perceiving you?
ओके.
Correct? Because we spoke about both the things.
हम्म.
Correct? So it can be positioned both the ways.
ठीक है. हाँ, I got it. Yeah, so I think this one also we can, something we can trim it down, but it's good actually.
ठीक है,
Yeah.
done. So let's get on to the third one. Vishal, what do you say in a chemist versus a doctor sales approach? That how does the mindset of diagnosing a problem of a customer, would change the entire sales process largely?
No,
Because we
I
are saying, okay, we are saying a chemist guy and a doctor guy,
yeah.
correct? When customer perceives you as a doctor, do you think the entire sales process would reflect differently than when a chemist, when a customer perceives you as a chemist? Will
Uh,
would take a different route to closure in simple terms, right? What would that look like typically?
so I'm not sure, Pawan, if I've understood
Hmm.
your question
Hmm.
right,
Hmm.
but I'll make an attempt to answer
Hmm.
and then you can correct me. Right?
Okay.
So, okay. So let me ask you a counter question.
Hmm.
Right? Scenario, what do you feel? Chemist sales guy and a
Hmm.
doctor sales guy,
Hmm.
sales cycle लंबा होगा.
Obviously, when you're diagnosing something, the sales cycle will be longer. It's like
Exactly. Yeah.
going to a doctor. वो आपको पहले टेस्ट बोलेगा, फिर डायग्नोस करेगा, फिर आएगा
Exactly.
कंक्लूजन पे.
But if you look at the normal scenario, people,
Hmm.
sales guys prefer, it's always good to have a shorter sales cycle. And
Correct.
a typically
Correct.
chemist sales guy would always have a relatively a shorter sales cycle. Why? Because in a selling process mein or a buying
Hmm.
process mein, he's entering
Hmm.
pretty late in the game.
Hmm.
He's entering only at a negotiation predominantly. So
Hmm.
it is all about nego to order.
Okay.
Whereas a doctor sales guy is entering when the client is at a trigger stage,
Hmm.
or a problem definition stage, or a
Hmm.
solution definition stage, or
Hmm.
evaluation of option stage.
Hmm.
Whereas an average chemist sales guy is entering pretty late in the game.
Right.
So a doctor sales guy ka average sales cycle is typically longer compared to
Okay.
a chemist sales guy,
Okay.
right? Now, sorry, now if you could
Okay.
repeat the question.
When I say a sales process,
Uh,
I also wanted to reflect that the number of people who will come in from either sides and what would happen, right? When we say it is going to be longer,
hmm.
what is happening in that longer duration? Can we spend a little bit of time talking about that?
Okay. See, in a normal scenario, in a typical enterprise
Hmm.
sales, right, mid to
Hmm.
large enterprise,
Hmm.
multiple people get involved, right? On
Right.
an average, we have seen that it's always, 6 to 10 people, at times
Hmm.
15 people, 20
Hmm.
people. In a normal scenario, even if it's a small company, then also
Hmm.
3 to 4 people get involved.
Correct.
So if we say mid to large enterprise customer, always I would say by default, more than 5, 6 people always influence
Hmm.
the deal. So to
Hmm.
answer the question, yes, there are always multiple people get involved whenever the multiple customer decision influencers get involved, and at times the
Hmm.
decision influencers actually are sitting outside the customer's organization.
Hmm.
You may have all those external consultants. At times, some channel partners really influence, right? Or some
Hmm.
ex-employees may influence
Hmm.
the decision.
Hmm.
When multiple people get involved, there is always an impact on the sales cycle also. Sales cycle typically increases.
Okay.
Yeah. And we are
And
not talking about
hmm.
B2B transactional selling,
Hmm.
where there is a possibility of a first call closure.
Correct.
We are also not talking about that upsell only opportunity where
Hmm.
the seller's organization is the only option, because then also
Correct.
the rate card is different and the things can move fast. We are not talking about that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And coming in from a sales organization side, do you think in a doctor approach, a sales professional would need an additional support coming in from their own organization because you're in a consultative mode?
Hmm.
Or do you generally see a sales professional should be ideally able to handle this conversation all alone? How would you really reflect upon
I would
this?
say both, Pavan. Okay.
Both.
See, in a cross-functional colleagues make a huge
Hmm.
impact. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
Uh, ये कोई वो गेम नहीं है, right? This is sales is a team game. It's a team
Perfect.
sport. It's
Hmm.
not like a individual sport.
Right.
For example, I might be a superstar salesperson, but if
Hmm.
I do not have the good product and service to back me up, a good
Hmm.
brand to back me up, if
Hmm.
my delivery is extremely bad, my solutioning
Hmm.
is bad,
Hmm.
my post-sale support is bad, then I
Hmm.
can actually I may still sell once, twice,
Hmm.
but that's it.
Hmm.
So it's a team sport, right? So cross-functional colleagues, overall, the organization obviously is important. Now we've also seen, but the sales guy also is important.
Correct.
Assuming you might have a fantastic product, fantastic delivery,
Hmm.
fantastic solution, okay,
Hmm.
then there is a lot of pull. The customer may still
Hmm.
reach out to you.
Hmm.
But over a period of time, if the customer realizes this sales guy is typical transactional sales guy, he does not
Hmm.
understand.
Hmm.
Okay, or he's not an intellectual, or he is not investing himself to read some of the best practices, then the
Hmm.
customer also eventually will start losing the respect.
Perfect.
And then customer will reach out to that sales guy only at a pretty late in the sales, in the buying process.
Hmm. Hmm.
यार ठीक है, विशाल को reach out करो, ask him to code, and then थोड़ा negotiate करो, and then let's place an order to him. So on paper,
Hmm.
this chemist sales guy might be still winning the orders. So on paper, he might be still hitting his certain percentage of the quota. But whether his customer is respecting him, I doubt. And I guess this is where that NPS or the CSAT survey will really help.
Correct. No, those are interesting indicators, Vishal. One, that you have to continually upgrade yourself and keep assessing yourself on whether how is customer perceiving you. Second,
Yep.
also that your sales cycle would also tell you how are you being placed in the entire journey, right? It's an interesting thing
Agree.
that if you are on a doctor side, you will enter pretty early. You will meet a lot of more people, and you would not just be related to just 2 or 3 people doing the last part of the transaction. So that's an
Yes.
interesting insight. Yeah.
And on over a period of time, you'll realize,
Hmm.
especially if you're a account manager,
Hmm.
okay, and if you're a doctor
Hmm.
sales guy managing a
Hmm.
large account,
Hmm.
over a period of time, you realize that you don't need to proactively engage. Whereas it is always good to proactively get involved,
Engage.
but over a period of time, you realize your customer will continuously engage you early in the
Correct.
sales cycle.
Correct.
So you would have enough insights कि चल क्या रहा है account में. Okay, and over a period of time, when the doctor sales guy का deal comes to a negotiation,
Hmm.
bargaining power is not with the procurement of the customer.
Correct.
Bargaining power is typically with the doctor sales guy because in
Correct.
the process he has developed enough coaches, he has got enough insights. He knows the kind of value proposition he has, the kind of ROI he's establishing or he's generating for the customer. And you will
Right.
always see that he will close the deals at a right price points.
I think which is absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Yep.
Again, thanks, Vishal. That was good.
Thank you, Pawan.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think Pawan, this
Hmm.
section is good actually as of now, right? Chemist doctor के these questions.
तो 3 ठीक है अभी?
हाँ हाँ ठीक है. I think overall
ठीक है.
insights तो
So
ज्यादा है. So we
we
can
move
move
further.
This is
category.
impressive. This is going much faster than my expectation. So this is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
तो
इस पे जाएंगे अभी कस्टमर अर्जेंसी पे या
हाँ
फिर कस्टमर
कस्टमर
कैटेगरी?
whatever. I mean that's upon you, Pawan. जो भी चलेगा.
एक
According to your email, it's category.
हाँ, तो उस
तो
पे
उससे
जाते हैं. ठीक है.
हाँ उस पे जाते हैं.
उस पे
तो
जाते हैं.
उसमें ना तेरे को ये बोलना पड़ा कि यार वो कैटेगरी वाला आपने ब्लॉग लिखा बहुत उस पे
So my
काफी
first
ट्रैक्शन
question
आया.
will start from there.
हाँ, कि उसमें के काफी ट्रैक्शन था. पीपल had this discussion. So would you like to further
Yeah.
elaborate?
तो विशाल उसमें ना आप थोड़ा मतलब ऐसा ऐसा है कि आप जब बोलो तो वो थोड़ा क्लियरली चार को खत्म करना पहले बिफोर एनीथिंग एल्स की भाई ये
हाँ,
चार का फर्क क्या है चारों में और ईच
ठीक है ठीक है.
पॉइंट्स जो भी हम लोग आपको इमेज दिमाग में रख के आप कोशिश करना जो हम लोग ने बनाया था
हाँ हाँ, तो बाद
वैसा
बीच में उसको मेरे को फिनिश करने देना. हाँ,
हाँ,
फोर
I'm not
कैटेगरीज
doing a follow-up on
या
this.
ओके चलो
Just give me 1 minute. Let me write down my questions, which order I'm going to ask them.
श्योर
इस बार का बॉडी लैंग्वेज ठीक था क्या?
I didn't notice honestly.
नहीं नहीं
So
ठीक
bad
था विशाल
Mortaza.
मैंने देखा मतलब आप वो आपका वो चेंज होता रहता है आप कभी पीछे लेते हो फिर आगे लेते हो वो ये सबकॉन्शियसली होता होगा बट वो ठीक है नॉर्मल है तो उसमें कुछ ये नहीं लगता
चश्मा पहन के रखोगे?
पहन लो आप कस्टमर कॉल मीटिंग में पहनते हो
Now,
ऐसे
now
फेस टू फेस
Vishal is asking the Shah Rukh Khan wala question.
ठीक है सही लग रहा है
नहीं, मैं आजकल वो रीड करता हूँ ना लैपटॉप पे, तो रीड करते वक्त मुझे विदाउट ग्लासेस लुक्स
अच्छा
बेटर.
अच्छा तो आप
हाँ, बड़ी
मतलब दूर का है आपको
पता नहीं क्या है, वैसे नजदीक का है.
नजदीक का है अच्छा नजदीक का है तो नहीं दिखना चाहिए
हाँ.
लैपटॉप
Okay, this is a star question. Okay, so you want me to refer to the blog first, right?
आई थिंक बेटर कि मुझे ऐसा लगता है बिकॉज वो.
So this one also we start with a blog reference, so I can start the
हाँ
same way.
हाँ, मतलब किसी को अगर नहीं समझा तो दे कैन गो बैक टू द ब्लॉग.
Hmm. Okay, fair enough. Done. So let's get started again.
या.
Hey, hi Vishal.
हाय पाल.
Hi. Vishal, I was just going through, the website and I came across a blog where you have defined, about understanding of customers' need and solution and categorize them in a certain format. And I think a lot of people read about it. I saw a lot of comments. And I thought it's important that if we could spend some time on understanding that what is the framework, what you have created of, different categories and how important it is for a sales professional to understand that while getting into a sales cycle.
Sure. So you want me to elaborate on
Yeah,
that?
I wanted to elaborate all that. What you've written in the blog, I think there are 3 or 4 categories you have
Yeah,
defined,
yeah.
basis need and solution. So if you could just demystify that entire thing once, and also add up with how much important is it for a sales guy to assess that piece correctly, right? In the sales cycle.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So, well, see, I'll tell you, I am a cricket fan. right? So I
Perfect.
think in terms of cricket, a lot of
Ah,
times.
lovely. Okay.
So tell me one thing, the people who are playing, let's say if you're a batsman, do you
Hmm.
come on a front foot always
Not really.
on each
It
delivery,
depends
right?
on the bowler and how is the pitch behaving and how is the
Exactly.
ball coming
So
off.
not
It
every time
depends.
we come on the back foot, not every time let's say कि it's a
Correct.
premeditated shot कि आज मैं हर shot को hook मारूंगा, ऐसा नहीं
Correct.
होता है.
Correct.
बट वी नो कि अगर बॉल ऐसा आया तो
Hmm.
अगर इस लेंथ पे है, यहाँ पे
Hmm.
है, तो दिस इज द
Hmm.
शॉट आई कैन प्ले. ओके,
Correct.
वैरायटी ऑफ शॉट्स. And
Correct.
my attempt was to can we keep simplifying B2B complex a bit. Okay.
Perfect.
So for example, over a period of time, because now we have been in this space since almost like 8 to 9 years,
Hmm.
and we have remained laser focused on enterprise sales. So over a
Hmm.
period of time, we realized that actually you can categorize the customers.
Okay.
You can categorize the customers based on customers' understanding of the need and
Hmm.
based on customers' understanding of the solution also.
Okay.
So two criteria, right?
Hmm.
Is customer clear about the need? Yes, no,
Hmm. Hmm.
unsure. Is customer clear about the solution? Yes, no, unsure.
Right.
Now you'll have my intention was to just simplify these categories.
Hmm.
Come out with these categories so that it becomes simple for our enterprise sales professionals. So
Perfect.
category one, customer phone.
Hmm.
This is standard. Customer is clear about the need, clear about the solution.
Okay.
Okay, and then this is where the customer will reach out to the seller saying कि मुझे ये चाहिए.
Hmm.
It's like exactly like a chemist kind of proposition.
Okay.
हम लोग केमिस्ट के पास जाते हैं, बोलते हैं ये प्रिस्क्रिप्शन है, मुझे ये
Hmm.
दवाई दे दो.
Hmm.
Okay, so so customer actually is expecting sales guys to fulfill their orders.
Okay.
And if in a category one, it is predominantly price plays a very important role. So the customer
Okay.
will eventually would like to prefer a vendor
Hmm.
who also gives at a L1 price because the client is
Okay.
clear about the need, clear about the solution.
Hmm.
Now moving to a category two.
Okay.
In category two, client is clear about the need
Hmm.
but has a vague understanding of the solution.
Okay.
Yeah. So here, client reaches out to the seller
Hmm.
with a very clear need,
Hmm.
but expects seller to educate him on the possible solution.
Okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
In category one and two,
Hmm.
okay, usually bargaining power is with the customer.
Right.
Yeah. Typical chemist sales guys,
Hmm.
they are okay. They normally keep getting category one kind of customers over a period
Hmm.
of time. Right.
Hmm.
Now I'll come to the category three.
Hmm.
Category three is that I find it very interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
And I always say that category one and two is like a batting on a batting pitch, whereas
Hmm.
category three and four is like a batting on a bowling pitch. कि
Right.
यहाँ पे टेक्निक चाहिए.
Okay.
यहाँ पे if you are a typical average batsman,
Hmm.
then you will get
Hmm.
exposed.
Right.
In category three, the client is ready for change.
Okay.
The customer is ready for change, but customer articulate the need.
Okay.
Okay, so customer at times will reach out or you will reach out as a sales guy and you will realize the customer is all over the place. But
Hmm.
actually, customer is ready for change. There is a definite trigger in the customer's world.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'll repeat. Customer, there is a trigger in the customer's
Hmm.
world. Customer is ready for change, but customer cannot articulate the need.
Okay.
And because customer cannot articulate the need, customer's understanding of the solution also is very, very weak.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've seen most guys, they
Hmm.
cannot identify this category.
Okay.
When they come across this customer, this
Hmm.
category of customer, I've heard a lot of sales guys say that customer time pass कर रहा है. कि
Okay.
कस्टमर को पता ही नहीं है कि उसको क्या चाहिए.
Hmm.
हाँ, शायद कस्टमर को नहीं पता उसको क्या चाहिए, but that does not mean that customer is not ready for change.
Correct.
Customer is actually ready for change. He is not
Hmm.
able to, he or she is not able to articulate the need.
Correct.
Yeah. And यहाँ पे I've seen the great sales guys, they immediately
Hmm.
get it. The client is ready
Hmm.
for change, but
Hmm.
not able to articulate. So they define the problem for the customer.
Right.
They also define the solution for the customer.
Hmm.
Yeah. So there's a category three
Right.
and category four. It's another bowling pitch scenario, right?
Hmm.
It's like a batting on a Australian bouncy pitches or the England or South Africa. So category four is that category of customer where the customer has pain,
Hmm.
problem,
Hmm.
concern, seller might have a solution, Okay, so I'll repeat. Customer is a pain, problem, concern, issue, hassle, interest also.
Hmm.
Seller might have a solution, but the customer does not have a requirement.
Hmm.
So again, I'll repeat. Customer is a pain, seller gets
Hmm.
happy. Wow, I
Hmm.
have got a solution. But the customer says, hold on, I
Hmm.
don't have a requirement. That means in customer's mind, he or she has other priorities.
Hmm.
And customer feels, okay, yaar, I can live with this pain. I've got other priorities. So
Right.
in sales world, we call it as a client has a customer as an implicit need, not
Right.
explicit need.
Correct.
So that's a category four customer, where the customer
Hmm.
has a pain problem but not a
Hmm.
requirement.
Hmm.
And because customer has not a requirement,
Hmm.
he actually usually is not even willing to know about the solution.
Right.
Okay, so let me just summarize again four categories for your viewers. Category one, client is clear about the need, clear about the
Hmm.
solution.
Hmm.
Category two, client is clear about the need, but has a vague understanding of the solution.
Right.
Category three, client is ready for the change. There is a trigger in his or her word, but cannot articulate the need. And because he or she cannot articulate the need, he or she has a very vague understanding of the solution.
Right.
Whereas category four, customer is a pain, problem, concern, issue, interest, but not a requirement. So
Right.
the client is at implicit need stage, not explicit need stage. And because customer is at implicit need stage, the
Hmm.
customer usually is not even willing to hear or know about the solution.
Right.
So these are like a four categories. And I feel if the sales guy understands this,
Hmm.
then it becomes really good. And I always feel the great sales guys,
Hmm.
they should over a period of time master category three and four.
Right.
Yeah, because category three and four is a great scenario. Because these sales guys, when they meet the customer, if they are clear, this prospect or this opportunity is in which category, then accordingly they can change the technique. And
True.
let me make it very clear, nowhere we are manipulating the customer. See,
Yes.
intention is to genuinely help the customer. I always believe that we need to first create win for the customer, but the relationship has to be always win-win. So win for the
Agreed.
customer and win for the selling organization.
No, I agree. So the first two basically are saying that, everyone can do transactional sales, but the
Hmm.
great sales guys skill themselves up into the, consultative value or a relationship selling, which is category three and four. And at
Yes,
the same time, you're not being termed as a snake oil salesman, right? You're
yes,
actually creating a win-win for both the sides by
absolutely.
being genuine to the customer's business understanding and how are you articulating a solution to them.
Agree,
So
agree.
we are not proposing that you become a snake oil salesman or you become a pushy sales guy. But I'm sure there's going to be a framework around it. So probably next time when we catch up, we'll talk about that framework as a
Absolutely.
continuation, right? And
So,
it's a great insight that if you understand this right, then probably you exactly know how your sales cycle is going to look and what you need to do next in the sales cycle, right?
absolutely. And Pawan, if I could just add one point.
Hmm.
So ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ great sales guys को category 3 4 customers मिलता है.
Hmm.
Even the other people also, right? Even the chemist
Hmm.
seller, they also
Hmm.
actually count
Find.
these four categories of the customer.
Correct.
The problem is only the great sales guys are able to distinguish.
Yes.
Whereas the average seller, उसको तो सब वही लगता है कि चलो सबको अपना solution pitch करो.
Correct.
Whereas a great sales guy immediately understand this customer is in a category one, two, three, four, and as soon as this customer is in category four, there is a completely different approach. Category three, different approach. Category two, different approach. Category one, different approach. It's
You're right.
like कि विराट कोहली को पता है राइट कौन से बॉल पे क्या करना
True.
या एंड ऑन अ लाइटर नोट यार विराट कोहली सब में सेंचुरी नहीं मारता है सो एट
Correct.
टाइम्स इवन द ग्रेट सेल्स गाइस इवन आफ्टर नोइंग एवरीथिंग सब डील क्लोज नहीं होती ओके नोबडी इज गॉड
I agree. Specifically in category four, sometimes the journey might be very long, or it might be difficult for even a great sales
अग्री
professional to take that through, right? Because
एब्सोल्युटली
as we say, multiple stakeholders, so it is going to take a very long time to mature it a lot of times.
यस
Correct.
एंड वी नीड
So
टू रिस्पेक्ट द
yeah, we
कस्टमर्स
need to
बाइंग
respect the
प्रोसेस यस
customer's buying process as well. Correct. But it is important to know that I am entering a scenario which is going to take longer, and this is what I'm going to drive through. Right. A lot of
मेक
times
सेंस
organizational
एब्सोल्युटली
resources also needs to be aligned, that the expectations have to be set within the organization as well. So
अग्री
I think it is very important for a sales guy to know these four categories, and if you apply them probably you'll be able to do your forecast far better.
Yes,
Correct? Because you would know what is happening in each of my transaction and how long will they take to mature eventually.
agree.
Which is fantastic, I think. This is great, Vishal. Thanks so much for this.
Hey, thank you so much. No, my pleasure, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Murtaza?
yeah, Pavan, so I think this, I don't know if you want to elaborate on this one, because I think this is also enough for this. मतलब you are planning to ask the follow up आपने जो भेजा था मुझे in
No,
this
follow up.
section.
I already set up the expectation for follow up, so I think we can do a follow up over here.
अच्छा अच्छा, okay. हाँ, तो
Right?
then we can do one more question of
हाँ,
follow
so
up.
we'll do क्योंकि ये CCU एक बार में पूरा नहीं होगा.
Okay.
This will need the follow through videos क्योंकि I'll have
नहीं
to
नहीं,
take
वो आई
Vishal
थिंक
to give.
ऑन
कैटेगरी
मुझे
वाला.
थोड़ा क्लैरिटी
Hmm,
see CCU is typically category 4.
correct.
I think Murtuza is talking about overall follow up on this entire thing.
हाँ, तो we can do it now, Vishal. I think
तो
we can
I
do a
don't
follow
know.
through
This is what
questions.
Murtuza you are asking.
नहीं, okay, so I'll clarify. So first is that 4 categories, so that is good actually. So I thought that this category वाला we can wrap it up here, कि चलो 4 कैटेगरी विशाल ने समझा लिया.
Hmm.
नाउ आप बोल रहे हो 4th कैटेगरी का जो सीसीयू वो उसमें अप्लाई होगा. तो देन
No,
यू
I
आर
think
सेइंग.
I have a few more questions on the category which might help.
अच्छा, ओके. हाँ, तो
ठीक है,
Right.
ट्राई
देन वी
करते
कैन.
हैं.
हाँ हाँ, एक
हाँ,
बार कर लेते हैं यार, चलेगा.
right. ठीक है,
Yep.
done. So let's go with the second one.
हम्म.
Hi, Vishal.
Hey, Pawan. Hi.
Vishal, last time we spoke about the categories. You explained about the 4 categories in the blog you had written. How detailed do we get about it? But till I had a question when I was just reflecting back on that
Sure.
conversation I had with you last. That what happens if a sales guy misinterprets what category is the customer sitting in, and how would that reflect upon? Because 3 and 4 are
Hmm.
very close, correct? And so is your 1 and 2, which are very close. In one, where you're saying that the customer is very clear about the solution, but then there's a theory in sales where if you can't convince them, confuse them. So someone comes in confused. Now the customer will be between 1 and 2,
Hmm.
or say there's an overlay. And similarly, there can be an overlay between 3 and 4 as well. In a
So,
sales guy's minds, right? So let's look at it from a perspective that if a sales guy misinterprets this,
hmm.
what is the outcome and how do we kind of prevent it? Is there some way you can guide us that wherein we prevent this overlaying or a misinterpretation?
Okay, see, what I've seen, normally 3 and 4, it's
Hmm.
not much overlap. Okay,
Okay.
so overlap
Hmm.
is not there in a customer's mind. Yeah,
Hmm.
there might be uh,
Interpretation in the sales guy's
interpretation
mind.
in the sales guy's mind, right?
Right.
Because the
Right.
client is, the body language will say that.
Okay.
Now, I'm just trying to simplify sales because the
Hmm.
enterprise sales is multiple people.
Correct.
Now, there might be a possibility that, one of the decision influencer is
Hmm.
sitting in category 3, but one
Hmm.
another decision influencer for the same opportunity sitting in
Hmm.
category 4. Another
Right.
decision influencer might be sitting somewhere else also. So that
Correct.
could happen. But
Correct.
let's try to simplify. Okay, in that conversation.
Hmm.
So, misinterpretation, right? Now, in the first scenario, assuming
Hmm.
it's very clear, right? If you are asking me, okay,
Hmm.
Vishal, this is my need and
Hmm.
I want this laptop,
Hmm.
this make.
Hmm.
That means client is clear about the need
Right.
and clear about the solution also.
Correct.
Now, I've got two options as sales guys.
Hmm.
As sales guy, I would either quote, but
Hmm.
knowing very well if I quote,
Hmm.
if my probability of winning is very high, assuming
Hmm.
whatever customer is asking is falling
Hmm.
in my sweet spot,
Hmm.
then I may like to quote.
Correct.
But I realize whatever client is asking is not
Hmm.
falling in my sweet spot. It is
Right.
actually my competitor's sweet spot.
Hmm.
Either I qualify out
Hmm.
and lose fast,
Hmm.
or I suggest then I'll have to try taking the customer from category 1 to
Right.
because if I let the customer remain in category 1, then anyway 9 out of 10 time I'm going to lose because it is a
You're
competitor
absolutely
strength,
right. Correct.
right? Assuming price is not my strength
Hmm.
and customer is asking something
Hmm.
which is all about price,
Hmm.
the customer is going to decide also on price. And I know my competitor is, let's say, someone of the, let's say another company, right? Which has
Right.
got price as a strength.
Hmm.
Then no point, playing on the competitor's strength.
True.
Either qualify it out or can I now create something?
Hmm.
Okay, can I understand more about the Mr. Customer, what is your reason behind the requirement? What exactly
Hmm.
you are trying to achieve?
Hmm.
Okay, which are the other distant influencers? Can you
Hmm.
try reaching out to the other distant influencers?
Hmm.
Can you try understanding their aspirations, their apprehension, their reason behind the requirement? And then can you try suggesting another solution which would create a higher return on investment for the customer so that the customer can move from category one to category two? Now,
Hmm.
this sounds simple, but in a
Hmm.
real life, it may not be that simple. Now,
Right.
if it's a very quicker sales cycle, right, a
Hmm.
typical very fast sales cycle, the sales guy may not have time also,
Correct.
right? And at times, because of category one, normally the customer's procurement would play an important role.
Hmm.
Yeah, and for sales guy to move this customer from category one to two, that means at times you will have to influence that customer key contact, which would be a
Hmm.
procurement in many
Hmm.
places, or
Hmm.
you'll have to reach out to the other distant influencers for the same opportunity.
Right.
And when a sales guy reaches out to the other people, obviously, at times he might get blocked, or at times it could backfire also.
True.
Yeah. But intention is to understand कि अच्छा मेरा category कौन सा है, client का
Hmm.
category कौन सा है. Can I take this customer from category one to category two? Yeah.
Right.
Based on, and you know in your heart that this is right for the customer also.
True.
I always believe you never try to manipulate the client to take him to a solution which helps you, but not necessarily helps customer, because then one day the customer will realize that.
Correct.
But if in the heart, salesperson always feels that this other solution is also good for the customer, then take the customer to that route.
True.
Yeah, and then suggest
True.
a solution, and hopefully it will work out well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But how do you reflect upon some amount of caution? Because three and four, again, from a sales perspective, sometimes when a customer is not very clear and is giving, covered signals, that's the category three and four. The fine line is explicit versus implicit, which we spoke about.
Yeah.
But sometimes a sales guy might misunderstand or, misinterpret the category three to be being a category four customer typically. So how
Yes.
do you prevent that from happening? How do we kind of take that
So
caution as a sales professional?
so again, I'll give a cricket example.
Hmm.
Okay, as I mentioned, category three and four are batting on a bowling pitches.
Correct.
It is not easy to bat on a bowling pitches. अगर
True.
सभी लोग बैट कर लेते हैं तो
Hmm.
सभी लोग वीवीएस लक्ष्मण और राहुल द्रविड़ और विराट कोहली का और तेंदुलकर का रिस्पेक्ट लेते हैं.
Correct.
Okay, we understand it is not easy. And
Hmm.
that is the reason it requires a lot of. I always believe the great sales guys are also great observers.
Okay.
They read the
Hmm.
room well. They read the
Hmm.
customer's unstated need also well. See, एक होता है client का
Right.
stated need, एक होता है
Hmm.
client का unstated need. एक
Right.
होता है the silence between two words, silence
Hmm.
between two sentences, right?
Hmm.
एक
Hmm.
होता है customer का body language.
Hmm.
The great sales guys read that extremely well over a period of time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I would say category three में a great sales guys would know. Okay, so the client का body language would be like this कि he will start talking about timeline कि यार ये
Hmm.
time पे करते हैं, or he would say यार यार करना है. Okay,
Hmm.
he his articulation of the need will not be coherent. He would
Right.
be all over the place. Okay, कि यार थोड़ा ऐसा करते थोड़ा वैसा करते. It's like कि आपके है and you are talking to an event manager who don't have a clear concept about the need, but you know कि शादी का date is
Correct.
decided.
Correct.
Now you are trying to articulate the need. ओके एंड यू से कि यार वो अच्छा दिखना चाहिए, मतलब सबको अच्छा लगना चाहिए सबको, बट कैसा रखना चाहिए यू आर नॉट एबल टू आर्टिकुलेट.
True.
एंड दिस इज वेयर ओके देयर इज अ एवरेज सेल्स गाइस दे फील योर क्लाइंट इज नॉट क्लियर अबाउट द नीड.
Hmm.
ओके सो लेट मी नो नॉट गो फॉर इट.
True.
Okay, whereas a great sales guys would know okay I think client is just not able to articulate,
Fair
so
enough.
can I articulate for him.
True.
Okay, Mr. Customer, I think this is what the problem is, right? This is what you would like to achieve, or this is what you want to fix. Okay, is it making sense? And over a period of time, the great sales guys help the customer define the problem. Once that problem is defined, the great sales guy also suggest the solution. How about this solution? This is what you need, right?
Hmm.
And over a period of time, obviously, there is always some back and forth. It becomes clear. Whereas average sales guys just cannot understand the category. So average sales guy, typically what happens, right? Average sales guy, even that client's need, which is all over the place, they start pitching the solution.
True.
But client is thinking, यार पहले मेरा need तो समझ ले,
Correct.
and you are suggesting the solution, है ना? Because the client is
Got
thinking
it.
कि यार hold on, first let's get aligned as far as the SOW is concerned.
Right.
Okay, scope of work from my point of view, let's say from the customer's point of view, then talk about the solution.
Fair point, Vishal. I think that's interesting because one and two, probably if you go wrong, you're going to end up spending a lot of time and energy in the wrong side of the transaction and end up, kind of having a wrong forecast. But three and four, I think what you explained is great that in three, customer would talk about a problem, and fourth, probably he'll be a little hesitant to talk about it as well, right? Because it's implicit. He can hold that pain for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll tell you,
Correct?
category four is also interesting, Pawan.
Hmm. Hmm.
And again, it's a betting on a bowling pitch.
Correct.
Okay. And that's why, if you've seen the VVS Lakshman, right? VVS
Hmm.
Lakshman was extremely good against Australia
Hmm.
because he used to love playing against a great bowling attack.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, category four में क्या होता है? The client, this is what the client is an implicit need stage, but not
Hmm.
explicit need stage.
Correct.
That means the client का statement would be like this, right? I have got a problem with my invoicing.
Hmm.
Client did what's the customer said? "Okay, I've got a problem with my invoicing." Client didn't say that I'm looking for a solution to replace my
Correct.
current invoicing software.
Correct.
Or client would say, I've got a problem with my sales team.
Hmm.
Or I'm not happy with my current sales CRM.
Correct.
Client didn't say that I'm looking for a change of sales CRM. Client said, I'm not happy or I've got a problem. I've got this operational issues. Okay, my current, let's say my incumbent is not doing a great job.
Correct.
That means the client has made those statements which a great sales guy captures. That means the client is at implicit need stage. It has not reached to explicit need. In explicit
Right.
need, customer says, I'm looking for a change of sales CRM.
Hmm.
I'm looking for a new vendor for sales CRM. I'm looking for a new invoicing platform. I
Fantastic.
want, yeah, तो ग्रेट सेल्स गाइस नो कि क्लाइंट अभी कौन से स्टेज पे है कि ओके दिस अ
Yeah.
कैटेगरी 4 customer okay where
Yeah.
the need has not reached to a recognized need or a developed need, whereas in category 1 2 and 3 need has reached to a recognized need or a developed need. Category 4, the need is still at unrecognized or undeveloped stage.
Fantastic. I think that answers Vishal. I think that gives a great insight on how can you not misrepresent, and it would really save a lot of time and effort. I'm hoping this would help the entire sales community for that reason. Thanks so much,
Sure.
Vishal, for that.
Hey, my pleasure, Bhavan. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hmm.
Mr. Murtaza, I think we'll take
Yes.
a pause on this.
Yeah, I think this.
This is done
Ha,
dusted now.
the category one is. I think this is.
Yeah, this is done dusted. It's
Done.
things
Yeah.
will repeat now.
Correct. 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 तो
Yeah.
कस्टमर अर्जेंसी का पवन इफ यू लास्ट
बाद में करते हैं उसको मेरे हिसाब से या अभी करना है आई डोंट नो हाउ
वॉट
यू
एवर
गाइस प्लेस्ड
मतलब
11:20 हो गया आई डोंट नो हाउ यू गाइस प्लेस्ड
ठीक है, मैं देखता
आई
हूँ
एम ओके
बट नहीं, या तो इसको अभी क्या प्लान पे है मुर्तुजा, आगे क्या क्या प्लान है?
ये वीडियोस का।
हाँ।
हाँ नहीं विशाल उसको एडिट अभी करना पड़ेगा ना थोड़ा मैं उसको फॉर्मेट वॉर्मेट करूंगा सब टाइटल्स डालना है, वो सब एडिटिंग करके फिर मेरे को पोस्ट करना है आपके आईडी से।
नहीं, या तो वी डू वन थिंग, वी मेक दिस एज अ वीकली कैच अप फॉर द नेक्स्ट फ्यू वीक्स.
हाँ नो दैट वी हैव टू डू विशाल। मतलब इसको मैं और थोड़ा हम लोग बेहतर करेंगे, मतलब मैं थोड़ा टेक्निकल पर्सपेक्टिव से कि वीडियो वीडियो कैसे और अच्छा कर सकते हैं। सो नेक्स्ट टाइम मैं सोच रहा था कि आप रिकॉर्ड करो बट सामने मोबाइल से आपका वीडियो रिकॉर्ड हो तो और क्लियर होगा, मतलब
हाँ,
रादर
तो
देन
फिर तेरे
लैपटॉप
को भी
कैमरा।
इधर आना पड़ेगा.
हाँ तो वो मैं करूंगा, मतलब वो तो थोड़ा देखना पड़ेगा कैसे है। क्योंकि उसमें मैंने देखा है लैपटॉप में हम लोग मोबाइल को भी ऐसा कैमरा यूज कर सकते हैं, लैपटॉप को बंद कर सकते हैं, ऐसा कोई तो है सॉफ्टवेयर
ओके,
कि
तो
लैपटॉप
देख,
को ऐसा। हाँ तो वो सब थोड़ा नेक्स्ट टाइम इम्प्रूव करेंगे। और
तो
वीकली
क्रिएटिंग
कैचअप।
कस्टमर अर्जेंसी आज करना है कि नेक्स्ट टाइम करना है?
विशाल इसको कर सकते हैं बाद में, एक्चुअली ये इसको भी मेरे को लगेगा विशाल एक हफ्ता तो लगेगा पूरा इसको कट करने में, ये सब तीन
हाँ,
चार वीडियोस बनाने में।
तो ठीक है,
एक
तो
काम करते हैं ना, किसी सीईओ को फिर और एक बार करते हैं। CCU, let's do it in the next conversation. Let's
हाँ
create about an 45 minutes or 1 hour every week on this so that we can keep doing this.
हाँ
Yeah.
एग्जैक्टली
मतलब 2 या 3 क्वेश्चन हर बार एड्रेस करके आगे बढ़ सकते हैं बिकॉज दिस इज मूविंग
करेक्ट
फास्टर नाउ वी हैव रियलाइज्ड दैट दिस इज इजियर.
हाँ
This is now easy actually.
This is
इजी
easier
है
that I can come prepared with my questions and we can keep bouncing them off,
हम्म
right?
राइट राइट
Yep.
हाँ
हाँ
तो विल डू नेक्स्ट मतलब वही थर्सडे फ्राइडे
हाँ, whenever
whenever you are
whenever you guys
pleased
are okay,
हम्म
I am okay. क्योंकि
तो अभी
सीसीयू
अग्री
के लिए
करके
मेरे
रख
पास दस
देते हैं.
क्वेश्चन है.
Okay, clothing, everything you want to change, Murtuza, के formal is okay.
नहीं नहीं दिस इज राइट विशाल और शर्ट चेंज कर लेना नहीं तो हर इसमें सेम ही लगेगा वीडियो में
अरे घूम फिरा के
No,
वही
we can
टी
also
शर्ट
do
होता
it
है.
with the t-shirts also sometimes, right?
हाँ, मैं
हाँ
वही
वो
सोच
पोलो
रहा
टी
था.
शर्ट भी चलेगा ऐसा कोई
Polo t-shirt with the sales and profit branding will also be good,
हाँ.
हाँ
right?
हाँ
We can
वो
do
कर
that
लो
as well.
वो पहन
We
लो
can
मतलब
do
वही
that
है
as
चलो
well.
एक एक ही लोग थोड़ा अजीब लगेगा हर वीडियो में
हाँ,
दैट्स
so we
व्हाई
can keep changing that.
सिर्फ एक होता है ना, जैसे अपना अदिति का देखा है. अदिति का ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम हर ड्रेसिंग हैज बिकम द डिफरेंशिएटर.
हाँ
बट शी
दैट
इज अ प्रो.
साड़ी वाला टाइप का हाँ हाँ
एंड शी
करेक्ट
हैज बीन
करेक्ट
डूइंग इट सिंस एजेस नाउ.
हम्म
तो उसने मेरे को
राइट
एक बार बोला था विशाल कि वो इट जस्ट हैपेंड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम एंड देन इट बिकेम अ कॉन्शियस कॉल हर साड़ी के साथ.
अच्छा
तो बोलते कि
अब अब जेंट्स में ज्यादा ऑप्शंस नहीं है ना
No, we can do
हाँ,
it with a suit all the time. That's okay.
पता है मुझे मेरे को सूट थोड़ा अजीब लगता है कि वो थोड़ा ओवर
ठीक है, हम लोग
शो
चेंज
कर रहे
करते
हैं
रहेंगे हर बार.
बट विल चेंज इन द शर्ट
Yeah.
हाँ
So also the suit sometimes brings in a lot of formal view to it, right?
बट ऑन वीडियो आई एम
And
सेइंग
yeah,
वीडियो में
even
आई
on
थिंक इट्स
video, I'll tell you what happens. I have observed
हम्म
in sales, suit works 2 ways. If you wear it in a metro, it gets you respect.
हम्म
You wear it in a non-metro, it blocks you off with the customer,
अच्छा
right? If you go to
हाँ
Indore,
हाँ हाँ
Bhopal, that kind of a tier 2 city with a suit, ना customer बात ही नहीं करता आपसे.
हम्म,
उसको लगता है कोई बड़ा आदमी आ गया, इससे क्या तो बात करूंगा, मैं मुंह खोलूंगा तो मेरा बेइज्जती होगा टाइप्स.
अच्छा वैसा कि अपने आप को
हाँ,
नीचे
सो
ले लेता है
इंदौर भोपाल में आप टाई और सूट लगा के नहीं जा सकते. यू एक्चुअली रिमूव योर ब्लेजर एंड यू गो लाइक अ नॉर्मल गाय.
ओके
Even if you are carrying a card of a big organization, right?
हम्म
Suit works both ways. Now,
हम्म
given we might not reach that tier 2 audience right now, and that's not sitting in our target, I think suit might help.
अच्छा ठीक है
I'm
विल
not
ट्राई
ट्राई
करते
saying
रहे.
हाँ
थोड़ा बहुत
I'm
ट्राई
not
देखेंगे
करते
saying
रहे.
कि मतलब tie वाई लगा के बैठना है. I'm not like the US kind of a thing where they come with a very crisp setup, right?
हम्म
They come with a pocket square and a tie and everything. We'll not go to that extent, but I think we can at least try a nice coat kind of a thing.
ठीक है नेक्स्ट वीडियो में वो करते हैं एक बार लेट्स सी
हाँ, तो एक बार वो एक
कैसा
बार टी
दिखता है
शर्ट वी
ट्राई
कैन कीप
करते हैं.
रोटेटेड.
देख, नॉर्मली आई एम नॉट नाउ वेरी कंफर्टेबल वेयरिंग सूट, मतलब ये वीडियो में. बट ठीक है, ट्राई करते हैं.
The video may doesn't come out well also. We'll have to see how does it look
हाँ,
because
बिकॉज मैं तो आजकल पहनता
coat
नहीं.
while sitting looks very odd versus while standing, right?
हाँ.
एग्जैक्टली हाँ
So
तो दैट्स
coat
व्हाई
while
फ्रॉम वीडियो पर्सपेक्टिव आई
हाँ
फील इट्स विल नॉट लुक गुड बट देखते हैं पहन के एक
देखते
बार कि
हैं
कैसा
तो
आ
otherwise
रहा है
we'll
देखेगा तो मैं
remove
तो
it.
आजकल कौन क्लाइंट वर्कशॉप में भी थोड़े समय बाद निकाल ही देता हूँ
हाँ, वो
ब्लेजर.
लास्ट टाइम मैं नहीं निकाला था because I was wearing a half sleeve shirt.
हाँ, मैं तो हमेशा निकाल देता हूँ बिकॉज आई एम नॉट वेरी कंफर्टेबल.
So I do that in
हम्म
ACT. I did that very often. यहाँ पे I
हाँ
was wearing a see, it was that resort वाला setting ना विशाल.
हाँ हाँ, नहीं
So
नहीं.
my shirt
व्हाट,
was casual with a half sleeve.
जैसे अमित है ना, अमित लाला, ही
हम्म.
ऑलवेज वेयर्स फुल.
नहीं
वो
नहीं
कभी
नहीं
नहीं निकालता है.
नहीं I
तो
do
दैट
that.
इज हिज कंफर्ट, नथिंग रॉन्ग.
So eventually Q2T guys told me in the end, ये जैकेट उतारोगे कि इसको पहन के घूमोगे पूरा day? तो आखिरी में
तो
बोले वो लोग मेरे को.
तो क्या लग रहा है गाइस, कब नेक्स्ट कब कैचअप करना?
I think we can do next week again.
नेक्स्ट थर्सडे ही करते हैं वैसे यही टाइम पे
एक second, next Thursday I might have a challenge, guys. 19th will be difficult for me. I have to go to a clinic with my wife, and that will be a full day activity. So either we do it 18th or we do it 20th then.
18th इज आल्सो फाइन है 18th को अपना इंटरनल कॉल नहीं नेक्स्ट सैटरडे आई थिंक विल नॉट डू बिकॉज वो सैटरडे कॉल के बाद नहीं करते तो 18 वी कैन डू एक्चुअली अगर आप
Either we
अवेलेबल हो
do 18 or we will have to move it to 20 because
मैं क्या
19th
बोलता हूँ
will
ना,
be
एक ही
difficult.
टाइम रखते हैं गाइस,
तो
सो दैट
ट्यूसडे
वी
वाला
नो.
कर लेते हैं ना. ट्यूसडे को एक 11 to 12 कर देते हैं फिर.
सो दैट ना हमको सबको पता हो कि ये उसमें हम कैचअप करने वाला है.
ट्यूसडे को करते हैं आई एम फाइन विद 10 o'clock
ट्यूसडे 17.
Yes.
ठीक है, तो कौन अपना एक सुबह वाला वो है तो उसको पुश
हाँ
करेगा।
हाँ, तो उसको मूव कर देते हैं फिर।
ठीक है, तो 17 को करते हैं, है ना?
ठीक
देन
है।
विल मेंटेन दैट वीकली कैचअप वाला पार्ट फॉर द
Yeah,
नेक्स्ट
but
फ्यू
I'll
वीक्स।
request, can we make it 10:30 rather than 10?
हाँ हाँ, which is okay because I
हम्म।
also also मुझे I feel ना before our next catch up, तू अगर ये सब में थोड़ा गुस्से कर पाया ना, then you will realize कि where you are getting stuck।
क्या चीज?
या अभी तू जब इसको कट करने
वीडियो
का स्टार्ट करेगा,
एडिटिंग में ना, हाँ
है
हाँ।
ना, तो तू तब ट्यूसडे तक कर पाएगा।
हाँ हाँ, एक तो मैं, एक या दो तो बना, एक तो मैं बना ही लूंगा जब मैं वो
Because
स्टार्टिंग में
the
आपने
reason
जो
I'm
किया
saying ना,
ना।
it should
हाँ।
not become a theoretical, because by that time you should be very clear कि मैं यहाँ पे अटक रहा हूँ, कि ये बराबर नहीं आ रहा है, यहाँ पे मैं
हम्म।
स्ट्रगल कर रहा हूँ, so that next time we can further improve।
हाँ हाँ, मैं कर लूंगा विशाल, 3-4 दिन है ना, एक तो मैं बना लूंगा तब तक।
ठीक है, तो ट्यूसडे
तो
करते हैं,
उसमें
तो तू
समझ में आ
इनवाइट भेज दे।
जाएगा। मैं भेज देता हूँ आप लोग को, है ना?
ठीक है।
चलेगा।
Murtaza, the pace of
हाँ
talking which you were talking about, is that okay? Are we speaking
हाँ
at a decent pace right now?
हाँ, दैट इज फाइन।
Okay, ठीक है done.
मतलब इज मीडियम, नॉट वेरी फास्ट, नॉट वेरी स्लो, सही है।
हाँ ठीक है, डन है।
चलेगा। ठीक है
And do
तो
you
आई।
want
हाँ।
it to be voice modulated or a little more, kind of animated conversation? Is that what we want?
नहीं, दैट आई कैन इम्प्रूव वो, एआई वॉइस से बहुत सारे सॉफ्टवेयर उससे हम लोग एनहांस कर
अच्छा,
सकते हैं वैसे ही वॉइस को।
you can
हाँ
modulate it.
हाँ।
ठीक है, डन।
दैट विल डू, मतलब आई थिंक वो फ्यूचर में हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे, वो एक्सटर्नल माइक वगैरह ही हम लोग इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा।
हाँ
कॉलर
ठीक है।
माइक होता है ना, मतलब दैट
हाँ
इज
हाँ
मोर सुपीरियर क्वालिटी, तो पहले
हाँ,
हम लोग
मेक
इससे
सेंस।
करेंगे, बट विल स्लोली इम्प्रूव,
ठीक है, डन है।
है
लेट्स
ना?
फिगर दैट आउट। ठीक है।
ठीक है। चलेगा विशाल,
चलो।
पवन, तो आई
Uh,
क्लोज द कॉल।
Vishal, these kind of questions are okay, or
Yeah,
we are
absolutely, I think this
deviating?
is fine। I think this is okay।
Or you want to improve on the quality of questions, what is coming through
नहीं
here?
नहीं, आई एम ओके रे। मतलब देख, बहुत बहुत जैसे मैं अगेन नेचुरल से, मेरे को नहीं समझा तो मैं सामने पूछ लूंगा कि आई एम नॉट अंडरस्टूड।
Huh, which is okay. But do
हाँ।
you want it to be more contextual or anything?
ओके, जैसे कैटेगरी में ना वी कैन गो वेरी पॉइंटेड ऑल्सो।
Hmm.
कि क्या लगता है, तो फिर सेल्स को क्या करना चाहिए
वो है मेरे
कैटेगरी
पास
में?
एक्चुअली।
हाँ, बार्गेनिंग पावर किधर किसका है?
हाँ
कैटेगरी 1 2 3 4 में बार्गेनिंग पावर क्या होगा? जैसे वन
हाँ।
टू में बार्गेनिंग पावर रिमेन्स विद द कस्टमर,
हम्म
3 4 में एक्चुअली बार्गेनिंग पावर कम्स टू द सेलर।
हम्म।
जैसे क्वेस्ट टू ट्रैवल का ये वाला
But
प्रोजेक्ट
will
वाज।
it will be only 30 seconds answer, Vishal, then. That's the
हाँ हाँ,
problem.
बट पॉइंट आई एम सेइंग ना, बहुत बार वो सामने वाले को वैल्यू नजर आ जाता
Okay, which is a fair point.
है ना? कि जैसे अगर बार्गेनिंग पावर इधर आ गया सेलर
Hmm
के पास,
hmm
तो जैसे वही बोल रहा हूँ, क्वेस्ट टू ट्रैवल वाज बार्गेनिंग पावर हमारे पास था।
hmm।
ओके, देन यू विल बी एबल टू सेल एट अ राइट प्राइस आल्सो।
Fair enough.
या
Yeah,
ऐसा था।
done. So I'll try to work on that kind of questions as well then.
हाँ ठीक है, इट्स ओके, विल लर्न
Yeah.
ड्यूरिंग द जर्नी।
Yes. No problem. That's fine. I just wanted to keep my side of it refining.
या
So, ठीक है,
ठीक है।
I'll work on those questions and let's connect 10:30 on Tuesday, 17th.
हाँ, तो वेरी क्विकली मुझे, यू
हाँ,
कैन लॉग आउट, है ना?
अच्छा ठीक है
जब
ठीक
हो
है
जाएगा
विशाल।
तो
जब तक
सारा।
मैं वो
तो
बाकी
है,
प्रोजेक्ट्स
अरे
पे।
आप वो नहीं विशाल, वो रिकॉर्डिंग चल रहा है ना, आई हैव टू क्लोज द, टू सेव दैट रिकॉर्डिंग।
अच्छा अच्छा,
वो
ठीक है
मैं
ठीक है।
होस्ट हूँ ना, तो आप लोग को वापस
So you can
दूसरे उस
stop the
पे,
मैं
recording,
कॉल करता हूँ,
Murtaza.
फोन मैं
हाँ
कॉल करता हूँ।
ठीक है, डन। We'll
है ना?
talk on
ठीक है,
call.
चलो।
चलो,
चलो
All
thanks.
right,
Bye
पवन, बाय
Arjun,
guys.
बाय।
take care।
Thanks. Bye.
थैंक्स।
Bye.